Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
It's the After the Show podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the After the Show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get your skate every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
Hello and welcome to the election day version of the KVJ After the Show podcast. Welcome to it. Jaber's just dripping in America today. He's got his red, white, and blue on. America.
I bought this hat at Walmart. Shocker that I got a hat at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
But I love this thing. It fits nice. It just says America on it. And it's got it looks like Abraham Lincoln.
It's got Abraham Lincoln on there with a bandana kind of thing, American bandana and sunglasses.
It's kind of edgy because you know me. I'm edgy.
Got a beard. Yeah.
If you're going to wear that get up to go vote, you might get on TV. They're always looking for something.
The goofy
something out of the norm.
The peacocker.
Yes.
I'll say something that gets us fired.
You have a lot of cock in your pee.
Yeah.
You definitely need to march up there and just get on TV. If you get on TV, that's awesome.
Your outfit is good for getting on the news on Election Day or The Price is Right.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But only the local news.
I would do better on Price is Right. I've done local news before, and I pissed a lot of people off the time. They gave me an interview after Michael Jackson died, and I was trying to be funny, and I said something, and oh man, some people did not like what I said.
Really?
I called him the king of weird, and that was enough to have people want to get me fired.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, it's that kind of day.
Yeah, so...
You know, as I look at Abraham Lincoln, though, in fact, we did Presidential Fact or Fiction today. Kind of crazy that on his inauguration, he was the first president to ever take an inauguration photo, and he took his photo with the guy who would later kill him.
Wow, that's crazy.
Isn't that insane? Yeah, John Wilkes Booth was in his photo that he took at his inauguration.
What did John Wilkes Booth do? How was he in the picture?
He did that thing where, you ever seen where you put two fingers up behind somebody's head?
He did rabbit ears?
He's the one that started rabbit ears. They don't teach you that in history.
That's a little known Americana fact that that's where that all began.
Huh.
There's a very interesting Twilight Zone episode about John Wilkes Booth and Abraham Lincoln.
Really?
What's it about?
I'm glad you're.
Is it factually based?
No, it's always weird how they do the Twilight Zones. I brought it up before, but you guys did not give a fuck. I like how you guys care now.
I'm just curious.
It's a weird thing. This guy, he runs into John Wilkes Booth in the episode, and as the guys, John Wilkes is telling him all this shit, and when the guy leaves the room, he goes, "Wait a minute, I think I was just talking to John Wilkes Booth. He's going to kill the president."
Oh,
it's
wow.
It's good if you have nothing else to do.
But it's not factually based.
No, it's
The thing I couldn't believe is I was kind of going through and I was looking through all these presidential factoids and all that kind of stuff yesterday. How many of our presidents we used to shoot successfully? My gosh. There were just a lot of people, and it seemed like it wasn't that difficult, especially the one about... Teddy Roosevelt, that was given a speech in Milwaukee running for president for a second term. Assassin comes up, shoots him in the chest, and he's like, okay, I'll finish this. And he finishes his damn speech with a bullet in his chest.
Did he did it miss organs? Like, how did he do that?
Great question. I don't know.
It was old-timey. Organs could take a lick.
Maybe
he had tough-ass organs.
Maybe bullets were made of wood. I don't know.
There was WABs, weak-ass bullets, but they also had TAO, tough-ass organs.
But there were so many presidents back then just used to get shot. I'm like, there was no kind... Like Abraham Lincoln. Dude just walked right into his booth.
Oh, booth.
Uh-huh. See what I did there? And shot the president right in the head. I mean, where's security?
John Wilkes Booth thought he was going to, he thought people were going to be on his side when he killed Lincoln, and people weren't.
They weren't.
No, I mean, I'm sure some people were, but it didn't work out like Booth wanted it to.
Yeah. Thought the South would rise again. Not happening.
I'll send you the link to that Twilight Zone so you can curse me and not watch it.
Denise, want to let you know that there's a new season of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix right now. There's an episode where they're talking about the Japanese tsunami that killed one area, or 20,000 people were killed. And after the tsunami, hundreds of supernatural stories started popping up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would say there's usually one or two out of the Unsolved Mysteries that are decent. My knock again is it spends the entire episode just on one story, and I feel like you could edit a lot of that fat out. Yeah, I mean, you even saw the one that was it was drawn out, and I love murder stuff. And it was
first episode lost me.
I'm used to it being a little bit quicker.
You're used to Dateline. You're used to having a little bit of a pace.
Dateline takes me on a journey. It's a whole mind fucking.
Oh, but Keith Morrison with that voice weaves a tale.
The babysitter entered the house. Or did she?
Was she there to sit on the baby, or was she actually there to murder the baby?
She was there to earn her wages.
To sit on the baby? They might get might accomplish both.
He just always he mind fucks you.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good.
Yeah, that's the problem with going back and watching some older shows is, boy, it makes you appreciate how fast editing is now and our low attention spans.
Oh, man, we were watching an old Friday the 13th. We were watching Friday the 13th Part 4. Me and Denny's were on Halloween night, and we just couldn't believe how long these scenes were. They dragged it out so much to the point where you can't even get scared.
All right already.
Yeah, okay, we know the motherfucker's in the closet. We know.
Yeah, it's almost like they need to go back with some of the classics and do re-edits to make it quicker to move it along.
That's why when I first saw the movie Scream in the theater, I thought Drew Barrymore was the main star because she was really back and being the A-lister. And the fact that Drew Barrymore got killed in the opening scene and it was so fast-paced, I thought that was such a genius thing to do for a horror movie.
Yeah. That's kind of it. When there's a new revelation that happens in film, you can't really kind of make it the way it was before. If people get like that was great.
And you're right. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Scream came out in 96.
You're good by KVJ rules.
Yes.
So you're fine on that. Yeah, I think what she's talking about, if I remember, I've seen a lot of stuff on that. I think, was that with the power plant? They had the tsunami hit the nuclear reactor in Japan. Is that where they started to have the meltdown issue? And that seems to be the typical that I've seen with the UFO specials is there's a lot of UFO sightings around nuclear power plants. And they believe that, maybe it's that aliens understand.
Don't fuck this up, humans.
Yeah, you guys are messing with a time bomb right there. And so they kind of keep an eye on it to make sure that we don't destroy planet Earth.
That's always an interesting tale you hear a lot of pilots talk about from the military where they are approached or there's a UFO that's in their line of vision and they go to use some of their instruments on their plane and it's all malfunctioning. They can't use anything until that ship is gone. And they think it's got something to do with it.
There you go. So fascinating. Thank you for the heads up on that. Heads up too, I stumbled into pretty much all the spoilers on The Mandalorian.
You are?
Well, I was on, just social media. Just when you're going around having a look for stuff to talk about on a radio show, you're going to see it.
Okay, let's not ruin it for people, but sniff once if Smoba Smet makes an appearance. Oh, shit. All right.
That's your favorite, right?
He's not my favorite, but he's up there. I'm a big bounty hunter fan.
Yeah, and keep in mind, people are trying to also be cryptic about the spoilers, but as I was looking at them, I'm like, okay, well, I kind of see what happens. I don't fully understand what it was because, there's just a lot of, I don't know, what is the right way to put it? There's just a lot of Easter eggs or just, it's for original Star Wars fans. It's all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like with the Cobra Kai. They've realized now, give the fans what they want, make it satisfying. And they're just hitting those G-spots one after another. It's like,
they're finally making Star Wars fans come again.
Yeah, if you're a Star Wars, looking at what I think the plot line is, and I don't fully know, but it's like,
But you're right, though.
Yeah.
It's like that one douche who I always talk about him, the Rian Johnson. He's the one that made the worst one out of them all. The 8 out of the 9th installment. So part 8 out of all of them. And he basically did his own script, didn't give a fuck about the old fans, and when the old fans complained about it, he was like, sorry, you guys are just fucking toxic men, fuck you, don't like my blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it's got nothing to do with that dick face. We don't like the script. You betrayed the characters.
Yeah.
Somebody's passionate.
I get passionate.
Yeah, and that was just really, it seems like The Mandalorian is righting a lot of the wrongs that, and for me, there's not really any of the movies that get me jazzed up. Like, I'm an original trilogy guy, and that's the only ones that I would put at the A category that I love. Everything else is, B, maybe even a B+.
But Mandalorian's making you come a little bit.
Mandalorian is scratching that itch where you're like, it feels like the original, and now they're even starting to, wrap in some of the storyline, apparently, from what I think I understand. But I'm going to wait and see until it's all over and then go and hopefully just binge it.
Does every woman have a G-spot?
Don't ask me.
Well, that was more of just a group question. You said G-spot. I'm just wondering if every woman has that.
Virginia?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think every vagina is different.
It's like
you got to dig around in there and figure it out.
But I guess my question would be, if you're digging around and you can't get it, I feel like some private parts may not just have that.
It might be that it's like hidden in a place where you can't get it, or she doesn't have it. But
I guess that's what I'm.
Some girls, it seems like theirs is like big as a beach ball, and like
it is. Well, I think some women are more internal, and then some are more external, i.e., the clit.
Thank you for explaining external vaginas to me. Like, I don't know.
Mansplaining the V.
Thank you for mansplaining.
He's telling you about your equipment.
My own vagina. It's been great.
I'm actually asking you questions. You're confirming what I feel.
Got an email here from Jen, who, by the way, has a G-spot.
Oh, good for you, Jen. Pick?
She said, just catching up on the ATSP. It's so funny that Jaybird brought up that he wondered what his mom and others that had passed on could see. I just had that conversation with my husband yesterday about that. I went to Mass and a bunch of things are changing in my church, and I don't really like the changes. I had lots of negative thoughts while sitting there, and I was thinking, God forgive me for this. Then I got to thinking about the fact that if you are praying silently to God all the time and he can hear you, can he hear everything? In the same light, if you talk to people that have passed and they can hear you, do they hear everything? Then I got to wondering about if they could see everything. What a horrible thought. I mean, to think that your grandparents or parents can see when you're picking your nose or wiping your ass or having any kind of sex. Or if you're alone. Oh.
But I feel like, okay, if I was a spirit and I'm entering a room.
Entering a vagina.
No, I'm entering a room and I see my kid's ass going up and down. I'm like, all right, I'll come back later. You know what I mean? I think you would know the act.
Well, they did it too. And I think that once you become like, a spirit up in heaven, like you get it.
You should.
You get it.
What do you mean what do you mean? What do you
I don't mean you get it.
What do you
get? You understand.
All knowing. You have all the, that's what I thought too.
You've been there, done that.
Yeah, they don't think anything of it. It's just, okay, they're just in another state of...
They know all humans are weird because they were once a weird human too.
And who says that's even weird?
Exactly, Kevin. We got to stop shaming ourselves.
Well, I mean, like the poo stuff and like the other, like it's just whatever weird stuff you have.
I am not into... Oh, she's talking about poop and sex together.
Right. Yeah, there's some weird people out there doing some weird stuff.
Separately, yeah, that's pretty normal, but you're right. Together,
I agree. I think we're all on the same page that we all still judge the poop sex first.
We do.
Okay. And so do spirits.
They do. I think everyone judges that first. You all weird.
They all do. Yeah, I mean, but I think as far as like what Jen is saying with thoughts and all that, my personal thought on that, I think, you could do silent prayers to God, but I don't think spirits have the same, they're not on the same level as God. They don't, so... Your grandpa or something like that, they're not going to be able to, your mom, they're not going to be able to read your thoughts.
And there's difference probably, I think, than spirits and even angels. Angels are a whole different animal.
Yeah, I think, I have a feeling there's probably a hierarchy even still. You can't get away from hierarchies.
That's at least what the humans We can't ever get ourselves out of that train of thought that everything's a hierarchy and there's always a beginning, a middle, and an end, and that's just how this is.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to grasp any other concept.
Yeah, so I would assume on the other side there's still a hierarchy, would be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we're made to believe.
Yeah.
It's hard not to think
That's
that.
what we're taught. Yeah, God the top dog, and that's the whole reason why we got the devil.
Well,
He wanted to be the top dog.
It's the whole beginning, middle, and end thing. You know, what was here before anything? Oh, it was the Big Bang. What was before the Big Bang? It was God. What was before God?
Nothing.
But what?
The Alpha, the Omega.
It's
I know, it's mind-boggling. That's why we can't deal with it.
It's mind-boggling, and I've tried having that conversation with some people. They just do not want to have it. Especially when that conversation comes out of left field.
Kind of like the Gspot.
Gspot, you brought that up, brother.
The Gspot is in your left field.
You brought that up, and by the way, people are mad at you, Virginia, for Gspot shaming them.
What?
You said some girls have big ass G-spot.
Well, I just mean like some girls are lucky. And anything that goes up there hits it, and they're so happy.
You're right. There are some.
It just seems like theirs must be bigger than other girls.
Well, and I also think everyone always says it's mental, but I also think it could be a physical thing. There's some women that really have a hard time coming. They can't have an orgasm, and they go, oh, it's mental, it's mental. I'm not saying that it's not, but in some cases, I just think your equipment might be just set to a different.
Your beach ball's deflated.
Your beach ball is just you're bad. I don't know what's going on, but just explore. I guess I don't know.
Try to just get in there as much as you can and figure it out.
I have heard exploring your own private parts. If you have a tough time getting to that happy place, ask yourself if you are masturbating, and if you're not, you are not probably trying to look at all the avenues of orgasming.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I learned.
There's avenues?
There
A
is
roadmap?
avenues. That's what they taught me on Real Sex on HBO, Kevin.
Okay. Sounds like it's very educational.
He's so excited.
It was very educational and also very gross. A lot of old people fucking.
We were talking the poo in the bed a second ago. I got a little bit more info on the Johnny Depp case that is going on because he had sued a British tabloid, The Sun. They labeled him a wife beater. And he's like, you can't call me a wife beater. And they're like, we just did. He's like, well, I'll sue you, mate. And Johnny Depp lost his libel case. The judge said that the defendants had shown what they published was substantially true. So they said truth is on our side.
I think one of those cases with those two, the Heard Depp thing, I think they were both probably very volatile, very drunk.
Mutually.
Just both of them
Yeah.
had demons, and
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of substance abuse mixed in with bad mental health right there.
Yeah,
which
probably
is
both of them
just
were-
a fucking disaster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they probably both did
Yes.
terrible things. I think she probably did poop in the bed. It's a great story.
I think they both were probably horrible.
And I think he probably threw whole wine bottles at her. Like, they just fought. They were just tumultuous.
You never know what any of that stuff because you weren't there, but it just sounds like it was nothing but just fueled with substance abuse.
Well, the judge also ruled on that, and he decided that Amber Heard did not poop on Johnny Depp's bed. So the judge is saying that was not Amber poo. In fact, he blamed the dog Boo. It was Boo poo.
I mean, he wasn't there, though. I don't know. Johnny thought it was Amber.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the audio of Amber, and it's pretty bad of what she says and what went down. But then again, I only heard Amber stuff. I didn't hear anything with Johnny. And like all these celebrities, I think are all fucked up, man. Especially the ones that are so out of touch with normal people.
He's horrible, but so is she.
Yeah, I think they're just both assholes.
The judge ruled that it was Boo poo. I don't know if he did a sample himself, but he said, well, Johnny was away when it happened, so Amber would be the only one likely to suffer from the feces on the bed, was in his official ruling. So he's like, it doesn't even make sense for her to take a dump on the bed because Johnny wouldn't have been there to be the victim of it.
But she wanted him to come back and find it.
Exactly.
It wasn't about he was there that night, because it's hard to poo in a bed with a guy in it.
They made. I'm a light sleeper, and I got to tell
They
you,
noticed.
that would have probably.
If you roll over
Yeah.
and the girl that you brought home is dropping a turd on your bed with you in it, that is definitely going to be something you remember.
Virginia, it sounds like you need to join Johnny Depp's legal team because he's going back at him. He's going to appeal. He does not like this ruling from the British court.
And the lawyers get richer.
Oh, that's who really wins.
Yep.
But to Ashley's point, when someone records someone else screaming and yelling at them, the person recording has the upper hand. And I agree with that.
It's true.
I took because you know it's being recorded and you're navigating the whole situation. But even with that said, the things that she was saying in there ain't nobody innocent in this situation.
The two of them would both gaslight each other.
Yes, exactly.
And then they would like try to record the other one. Like, we know what happened.
Well, I'm sure you guys, just in the history of growing up and having friends that were drinking and blah, 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 that are probably not even friends now. You had that one couple that they'd get drunk together and then they would fucking just fight and everything would be awkward and they were terrible for each other.
Right.
They brought out the worst in one
and
another.
they've both been bad, and now they're trying to. And neither one's going to come out of this thing probably a saint.
No, neither one. Well, they're not. Both of their reputation. When you're talking about dogs shit in the bed, and then you're taking the girls doing it, and
it's getting ridiculous.
He's cutting his hand, and it's all totally fucked.
Yeah, it's getting pretty ridiculous. So they're trying to sort through all that kind of nonsense. So who knows where it'll wind up.
Is that a divorce for you automatically?
Yes.
You come home and Panda shits the bed, and then you find out he's trying to blame it on Rocco or something.
I'm like, I gotta go.
It's too much, right?
It's a lot.
Way too much.
It's a lot to handle.
Life is way too short.
Well, this could really start changing things. I saw that city-sponsored events and large gatherings are now going to be allowed to return to West Palm Beach. They just have to get a city-issued permit. Does that mean Sunfest?
Interesting.
So is that really going to start opening things up? Could life start getting a little bit back to normal in West Palm Beach? I mean, it sounds like that might be the case. So I don't know what is going to happen with that. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I know some people are like, yep, as soon as we get past the election, it'll start going back to normal. That would be a big step, right? If we start having large functions like a Sunfest.
There is definitely a percentage. I don't know how high that percentage is, but definitely thinks things will die down. The panic will die down of the corona. But
well, they just had the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show over the weekend, and I haven't heard anything about that as being a super spreader event yet. I guess it would probably take a couple weeks before they figure out it.
It happened though.
Yeah.
And do you know what what was the total of people out there?
I didn't see the overall total of it, but I think it probably was about a third from just kind of what I was hearing and seeing. You know, they did 100,000 last year, so you're probably looking ballpark 30 to 40.
You haven't been on a boat in a minute, have you, V?
No. I mean, we got the jet ski. I've been jet skiing with Mags.
You're getting some use out of that thing?
Yeah, definitely. We go on it a good bit. But the thing about the boat is, I don't have a boat. And I'm not in the boat club anymore like I used to be. So if I'm going to go on somebody's boat, then it's me and their family. And I haven't been hanging out, with too many randoms.
I really got to trust the person who's taking the boat out, not because I'm afraid we're gonna crash. I just want to know, are we going on some 9-hour bullshit tour where I can't get off the boat and people are all
I'm stuck.
I've just been stuck on many boat excursions.
Yeah, that's the worst.
It is.
If you're out there, what are you going to do? All right. Anything else we got going on today? Today's voting day. I have already mailed mine in. I'm good. Jaybird, you're going in person?
I am going in person. And what school did you say it was at? It was at...
I go to Bear Lakes Middle.
That's where I'm going. It's right down the street from me.
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
From what I'm hearing, I've been looking at social media. A lot of people have voted today already and said the lines were not bad.
No, I've never had a problem.
I've never had a problem.
I go right in, and there's usually 5 to 6 open booths.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to look like an opening day of Disney World.
Yeah, I think you're going to be okay. The one thing you might want to watch out for, though, is people with coronavirus. CDC is saying that people with coronavirus, or if you're quarantining because you might have been exposed, still get out there and vote today, even if you got coronavirus. So the CDC still wants you to go out into public. be around those people.
Ay, ay, ay.
They say just wear a mask and stay 6 feet away, but definitely go out and vote, even if you have coronavirus.
And they also said corona does not affect anybody that's in the voting booth.
Oh, it's a safety bubble?
As soon as you go into the voting booth, corona doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, there's just every day there's still a little blurb I see. I didn't expect that one.
It's so funny.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't get more people around each other than voting, right?
Well, I mean, it depends, but there might be an instance where you're standing in a line and, if somebody's like, well, CDC said go out. If you're in a line, I don't know if the lines I saw photos of that people sent, it didn't look like they were distancing the people in the line.
No.
They looked like a regular line.
There was video of the line today, and it honestly looked like half of the people didn't even have a mask on.
Yeah, so the CDC had said, hey, talking to you, if you are at home sick with coronavirus, get your ass out and vote. If you didn't, then you're going to be like, well, I would love to social distance, but they put me in this tightly packed line. What else am I going to do? So I guess you should go out and vote.
Has anyone asked you who you voting for? You tell them, and then they start to almost kind of like yell at you because you're not voting the way they are. Is it happening to anybody?
Like I said, I wouldn't tell anybody if they asked.
There's not anybody there's certain people you trust, right? That you would tell, that you feel like you could talk to them without getting your head bitten off?
The Mexican queen.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd tell you all privately.
That's about it. Yeah, no, you guys I'd be okay with because, it's because you know the attitude.
Right. And we talked a little bit about it.
Yeah.
I kind of know where you are, and it's weird that you and I were in the same exact place without even talking about it ahead of time.
Right. It was kind of interesting, where we all started because we really didn't discuss it a lot.
No. I finally sat down and did the research, and then we compared notes like 2 hours ago.
But it is weird that when someone asks you a question and then you give an answer, although you don't even want to give the answer, and then they want to get into a fucking debate with you.
I wouldn't, If anybody came up and said, hey, who'd you vote for? I'd be like,
not now.
Yeah,
I don't know you like that.
I voted for Chef Boyardee.
Step off.
Step off!
I'm good. So, I guess we'll see. Is anybody going to be watching the TV today to see how it all shakes down?
I will. I do find it all fascinating. I mean, I'm not going to, get all public with my opinions on it, but I do watch it quietly to see what the hell's going on. It's interesting to see everyone's perspective. I like to go around all of the news channels just to see how different everything is of how they report it. And a lot of times it's quite different.
It will be interesting, depending upon what news network you're on, how the optimism will go. Will one, like CNN, be like, oh, Biden, it's a landslide? And will Fox be like, Trump is going to do it? Or will they be like, not looking good for either candidate?
Yeah, what I really want to know is when people start fighting on social media, is it just to get stuff off of their chest to vent, or do they really think that they are changing the needle?
Or there's a third option too.
Moving the needle.
Do they just want to fight?
Yeah,
because I see that too. Somebody will just throw something out that's so polarizing and just mean-spirited, and they just want to fight.
And I'm honestly asking because I really like to understand the psychology of just humans.
Good luck.
Well, we're all part of the same species. I like to see just what the fuck's going on out there.
We're fucked. That's what's going on.
We're not. We're not. We're going to be fine. Mm-hmm. But then again, being positive is also controversial.
And annoying.
It is. Some people really hate positive person during trying times.
Shut up, Uncle Ham.
I
fucking
hate it.
Uncle Ham.
Stop being so positive.
That's right. You can't do it.
You can't, Kevin.
All right. Well, whatever you're doing, we do encourage, if you are able to do so, go out and cast your vote today, and hopefully things start to simmer down. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. You guys enjoy your election day. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.